Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. If you're just joining us, you've missed a lot. But nevertheless, we move on with the polity for today. And today we'll be talking about weekend review. And of course, that's analyzing events that has happened over the week. And with me in the studio to my right is Fine Face Insikak. Of course, it's not a new face. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
And to my left is Atiku Abubakar, a public analyst. Of course, welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you for
How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, how are you, Fine Face?
Fine.
It's good to see you again. Looks like you're dressed in black. Looks like you're angry with the government.
Of course, everyone is angry now. I mean,
so we should cooperate and dress in black too, right?
maybe if you want to.
All right, viewers at home. Today we'll be starting with the newest release. Of course, we'll start with one ministerial nominee was removed few hours back, and according to reports, she was already on the screening. She was already at the screening place, but then begs so many questions. What is going on with? Are we going to ask that what's going on with APC or what's going on with the president at this point? I'd like to get from you first.
I think it's about the APC.
Okay.
Certain people are looking like they basically do not really know what exactly is happening, and you know, sometimes these people are being nominated by some people.
Okay.
So it means that someone could actually kind of try to nominate people based on sentiment. So I feel like maybe certain people were able to question her nomination, and then, you know, the party now had to get her out in order to save the name of the party. So I think it's just politics, though. Politics is basically about interest. Yeah, so maybe it's just a game of interest. That's what I think.
Okay, your own take, Atiku Abubakar, on this.
In the first place, the list, the names of women and the caliber of women in the that was sent to the National Assembly. I was thinking the president earlier made a mistake. Maybe he wanted to send the list for them to represent Nigeria in a beauty pageant, because the women which I saw, I don't think anything serious will come out.
But what do you? Sorry to cut you short. What do you have against beauty pageant women? Because I actually
they were only those who went to the Senate were only showcasing beauty.
Did you hear them speak?
They spoke, but with the present situation of the country, I don't think they will be able to do much. And removing the lady from Kano is an embarrassment. The president should do something to compensate her. Why send her name in the first place? Okay. It means the government does not really know what they want. If you know what you want, if you send a name, you should be able to stand by it. Why send a name and then write again to remove the person? Even though I was against her nomination in the first place.
Okay.
Because I don't think she's too... To me, she's not very matured for that to be a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What are her antecedents? It's not enough that you campaign for the president. With the present situation in the country, not just those who campaign for the president. We need people who will be able to stand firm and do what is right, especially this time where when the rule of law, everything is being bastardized. So we need people of character, not just anyhow politicians, to be able to represent us or to serve as minister at this particular time.
Okay, do you agree with that, Sam?
Well, I think the nomination and you know, the pending appointments and all that isn't based on competence. It's not based on track record, and like you said, it's not based on your antecedents from what we've seen. I think it's just the president trying to repay loyalty, and that's risky, because I mean, look at where we are as a nation today. Go back to 8 years of the APC under President Muhammadu Buhari. Look at where the nation is. I mean, there's poverty, there's insecurity, there's unemployment. Nigerians are suffering. So what we would have expected now was to bring in men and women of caliber, people who have the experience. And my own major concern is this: we keep on recycling the same set of people, and we expect Nigeria to work. It's not going to work. I mean, these are people who have questions. Some of them have pending issues at the EFCC, and you are appointing them. These are people that some of them have failed, like they've successfully failed in their attacks before, and you're bringing them back. So where exactly, how then do it's just like you have a new wine and then you're packaging it in an old bottle, and you think people, you know, it will sell. So I just it baffles me when I see Nigerians begin to say, look, new Nigeria is going to work. No, we are just moving around the same circle until, you know, we do what is right. And what's the best thing to do? Bring people based on competence. Look, we have experienced Nigerians scattered all over the world. Why not bring them back and then have a blend of some of the new faces and some of the old people that are clean, you know, not people with questionable character. But what we're seeing now It's just the new normal, seeing the new people, recycling them, and then still believing Nigeria is going to work.
Well, so your answer already answered my question, but then I'm going to ask again. What's your take on having 5 or 4 governors on that same ministerial list, especially given that we have Kaduna State governor on that same nominee, given the level of insecurity we've had in Kaduna State?
Well, I think having about 5 governors, there's nothing wrong. Okay. But if you look at their track record and their antecedent, okay. I mean, you talk about El Rufai, Minister of the FCT. He's said to be the best minister in terms of the FCT. But yeah. As governor, you saw what played out in Kaduna State, insecurity. I mean, Kaduna is where we have the Nigerian Defense Academy. Exactly. And you saw stories of insecurity, the Southern Kaduna issue. And that's why I have issues with the Senate President, who didn't allow him answer questions concerning the petition that was raised against him, because these are issues that need clarity. Look, no matter where he goes to in Nigeria, Nigerians will still ask the same question. And then you look at some of the governors in the mix. Okay, Nyesom Wike, fine. It's more like he betrayed his own party to favor the APC, and we understand. But if you look at his antecedents, his performance as governor, I would score him 90 in terms of infrastructure. Look at Rivers State. I mean, he built the law school. There's the NYSC camp that is said to be the best. I'll give it to him. But look at the likes of Matawale. He has a pending case with the EFCT. I think something that involves about, I think, 7 billion or 70 billion.
Yeah, back and forth with the EFCC bossy.
Yes, and then when the new governor came in, he was alleged to have taken some vehicles that belong to the government. Those are question mark. Look at Oyetola, former governor of Osun State. I mean, he couldn't win his re-election bid, but when he handed over, Adeleke came out to state clearly that they looted the government house. They took vehicles. They looted things as low as spoons,
even chairs,
in the government house. So I mean, these are, like I said, these are men of character that, you know, there's a question mark on it, and then you're bringing them back. Some of them couldn't perform as governors. David Umahi did well somehow in Ebonyi State, but then he made a statement that he's basically going to the Senate to go and rest. So I mean, there's a whole lot happening, and you know, it baffles me to see that we are where we are today because of bad leadership, and then we are still recycling the same people, and we think it's gonna work. I really don't think it's going to work.
Okay, what's your take on, let's start with the Kaduna State governor being the ministerial nominee right now?
He has said everything I wanted to say, especially concerning Kaduna State governor. Okay. Yes, I believe he has capacity, but what he did in Kaduna, I live in Kaduna State, and the insecurity is something else. How can people on a daily basis, people in Southern Kaduna, they were being killed everywhere, insecurity in the whole of the state. You can't move from Abuja to Kaduna, you are governor. If you can't rule a state, lead a state, you should resign. So, and where the opportunity Nigerians would have had was for the senators to ask him questions so that he will answer questions, but they did not allow that. That's why I have always been against Akpabio and Abbas, the Speaker House of Reps. I know why Tinubu brought them. Tinubu Machiavellian style of leadership made him to bring Akpabio and Abbas, because the two of them, they are yes men. There's not, as a matter of fact, without delegating the office of the Senate President and the Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, if they go to see the President in private, they will kneel down before him, and if he asks them to for the two of them to raise their hands, they will do that. These are not the characters we need as leaders, especially in this present situation. And one person I need to talk very quickly about is even the governor of Zamfara State. That man is not qualified to be a councillor. Is not qualified to be a councillor at all. When we talk about some of the mistakes of El Rufai, he has capacity. This one has no capacity. He's a fraudulent man. He went to Kogi to conduct primary election. He did not conduct election. He wrote the result and ran away. He said he was fasting. He cannot lie. And gave another person to announce the same result. You are the chairman. You did not announce the result, but you gave another person to announce. And you say you are fasting. Because you are fasting, you cannot lie. And then you allow person to lie on your behalf. Yes. I don't know what kind of. Are you deceiving God? You say you cannot lie. That since the election did not hold, you cannot during fasting announce a fraudulent result. So he now gave to Patrick, the former House of Rep member, who was the secretary of the committee, to announce the results, since Patrick was not fasting during that time, so that he can announce the result.
And nobody checkmated that.
Nobody checkmated, and now they are rewarding with ministerial slot. What kind of thing is it? How can this country cannot move forward? Let's not deceive ourselves. We should not deceive. Well, I have always told people to begin to fear God, so that at least maybe since here is not good, maybe there will be good.
All right, that's quite laughable. Trust me, the studio is in shambles right now. But then I'd like to take it to APC. So speaking of course, all of this is happening within the party. Something caught my attention this morning. The Daily Sun newspaper. APC probes Adamu, others as Ganduje emerges new chair. And Ganduje said he has vowed to lead the party with integrity, transparency, responsibility. And NWC members found at selection of same faith for chairman, secretary. Well, Tinubu tasked APC leaders on good governance. But let's take it from the from making the ex-Kano governor the chairman, and him coming out to say he's going to lead the party with integrity, transparency, and responsibility. And we've been talking about people's antecedents, and of course, I wouldn't like to delve deep into the ex-Kano governor's antecedents and videos that have been circulating around the internet, even though they've come to say, oh, those were doctored. But what's your take on this?
Tinubu is merely rewarding loyalty. He's not bringing in people because they are competent. And what the former governor of Kano State said is what we are used to hearing. They speak the good English, but when at the end of the day, it's the same story. So there's nothing to even talk about. What do you expect from Ganduje? That office, the APC, I was deeply involved in APC in the past. That office is called Bureau de Change. It's where you come to transact. You bring money, they give you tickets.
Do you have proofs to back up your claims?
Yes, I have proof. I was on ground during Anambra primary,
okay,
where Chief Mogalo contested. They did not do anything. They just collected their money in the National Secretariat, wrote a result. And to prove that on air, they wrote a result that Andy Uba scored over 300,000 votes or so. During the general election, he could not get 150,000. So where only APC voted for him had over 300,000. During the general election, that other people could have voted for him again, he could not score half of the vote. So what this clearly shows that APC headquarters is the headquarters of Bureau de Change, where you transact dollars, pound sterling, and they don't transact naira. Where you bring hard currencies, and then you get whatever you want. If you want a ticket, make me your consultant, give me certain money, I will get APC ticket for you. I know the transaction. I was returning officer of governorship election in Ebonyi State in 2024. So 2014, I mean, when APC was formed. So I know it's a place where you go for transaction, and they have brought in somebody now that is good in transaction. So to God be the glory.
What's your take on that?
Well, I think one of the major focus of the APC in 2015 was to come and fight corruption. I mean, you saw the hula baloo about the PDP, how they were very vocal about corruption, but they came in, and in 8 years we saw snakes swallowing monkeys, snakes swallowing monies, and a lot of stories. I mean, under their watch, it was said that the former accountant general embezzled, I think, about 90 billion. And this kind of things kept on happening. It kept on going on and on and on. So you even heard their former chairman, Adams Oshomole, saying, look, once you cross over to our side, your sins are forgiven. So,
sorry to continue. Could that be said that is why we have FFK in APC right now?
There's a mindset in Nigeria that if you're in maybe the PDP or any other political party, and you have pending issues with the EFCC, once you cross over, that's the end. And we've seen that play out over and over again. And then so I think it's nothing new seeing Ganduje coming to say he's going to lead with integrity and all that. Look, you cannot basically give what you do not have, and you can't. I think the time where they were deceiving Nigerians is actually over. Nigerians know the truth, they see the truth, and they understand it. So you coming to say you're going to lead with integrity is like trying to give what you don't have. I mean, it's like you asking me for maybe $50 billion, and I say come tomorrow. That's me just playing around, and deep down that I don't have it. So that's what's happening. So I don't think Nigerians are not even shocked. I mean, the signs have been there. It's obvious that corruption is the only thing winning. But like I've always said, until we defeat corruption in Nigeria, we can never make progress. It's as simple as that.
All right, speaking of moving forward, let's talk about the NLC and their this thing that happened over the week. And I'd like to take us back to the president's speech where he said there's going to be a refinery that will be up and running come December. And I mean, this is not the first time we've had the sitting president or even anybody coming out to say, oh, this refinery is going to work over time or give a specific date, and it doesn't work. That's one. Two, how many refineries do we have in Nigeria? Even the said one that was launched a few months back is said not to be up and running right now. So is there even anybody that is going to hold these people accountable and say, oh, you said this, let's checkmate and check facts? Are things actually in order for you to say this thing is going to be up and running come December?
Well, in 2014, the APC said they were going to build 5 refineries. In May, they handed over to APC again, and we didn't see even one. The one that was commissioned was a private refinery owned by Dangote, and then it's going to be ready by 2025. By 2025. So how do you explain to someone that the giant of Africa, a major oil producing nation in the world, doesn't have a functional refinery? The only explanation is that corruption is winning. So I think talk is cheap. We've heard this before, like you said. We've heard it over and over. And in fact, in 2015, the president now, then campaigning for the APC, was very vocal about these things. And then they painted the PDP in a bad image and all that. So I think Nigerians have had enough. It's okay to say these things, but if you do not match them with action, you know, it just looks like child's play. So Nigerians basically do not really expect anything, you know, from in terms of building refineries and all that. But then it baffles me how we are a major oil producing nation and we do not refine our crude here, but every day you hear of illegal refineries that are functioning effectively. So if illegal refineries can function properly, why is it that the government cannot build a refinery? And then another thing is this. I just feel like, you know, it's time to get serious. Nigerians also need to hold our leaders accountable as well, because it just looks like Nigerians are relaxed. They felt like, okay, I mean, these people can just play whatever game they want, and then we are just watching. But I think until Nigerians make a decision to rise to the occasion, we'll keep on seeing this kind of promises. Just like 2014, 8 years gone, there was no refinery, and then we are here again. It's talking about December, and by December you may just hear a different story. So I think it's just the normal game, and Nigerians are used to it already.
Do you agree that it's a normal game with them?
Of course. Not only that, I agree. I don't even believe anything good will even come out with the present leadership again, because I've lost all hope. Having you remove subsidy, you said you were saving money, you have not done anything at all, and you are not making any sacrifice. They are enjoying life to the fullest, only asking Nigerians, the poor masses that are already impoverished, to make sacrifice. So what do you expect? If you are expecting, you are deceiving yourself. Don't even expect anything from this government. Nothing will come out of this government.
Okay, all right, gentlemen, looks like that's all we'll be able to take for this segment. And after the break, we'll be joined by Comrade Duke Alamboye, of course, to analyze the Niger coup. So stay with us.